Hello there from the St. Louis Aquarium here at Union Station. We are so excited to be able to stay connected with all of you out there. We are here every day still taking care of the animals that we love here so much, and we are excited for everybody to be able to get back here down the road when we're all feeling a little bit better. So in the meantime, though, we are wanting to show you guys a little bit of the things that we're doing back here behind the scenes, taking care of the animals. And a big part of what we do every single day is diving in the aquariums. We actually need to do that every day to take proper care of the animals. One, it just does make it look a lot nicer. That way you guys can see through the acrylic and it does look nicer. But honestly, it's the best way to take care of the animals as well. It keeps a nice, clean environment for the animals. We get in there, we vacuum the gravel. It gets up all the debris and everything that collects down there. It keeps it a healthier environment for the animals as well. So what we are going to talk about is some of our diving equipment. And I will tell you guys, it is so much fun to actually be able to dive here at the aquarium. It is definitely fun, but it is also very serious business. So there's lots of paperwork that's involved. There's dive plans and preparation that's involved with all of it, and a lot of really important equipment. So, unlike the fish, we cannot just see and breathe underneath of the water. So we have to use all of this really super cool equipment right here. So one of the first things that we want is to be able to see under the water. The human eye cannot see under the water the same way that fish see underneath of the water. So we need to create an airspace between our eye and the water so that we can actually see clearly. And when we're actually testing out our masks, we start like this. We want to just get kind of a nice feel. Can we get a suction? Just like that. And then that is actually a nice fitting mask right there. So that would be one of the number one essential pieces of equipment. And of course, too, if you're actually just out enjoying the ocean as well, you can use a mask when you're also snorkeling. But if you need to be breathing underwater, that's where this equipment comes into play. This is called SCUBA equipment. SCUBA is S-C-U-B-A. That stands for Self-Contained Underwater Breathing Apparatus, otherwise known as SCUBA equipment. So to be able to breathe underneath of the water, we actually do need to have compressed air. So right down over here in front, that is a SCUBA tank. It is filled with compressed air. Now, a lot of times people will actually say, oh, we're breathing oxygen, when in fact, that's not totally the case. It's air, just like exactly what we breathe, what's around us. It is just compressed down into a smaller space. Now, that does mean that that air is in a very high pressure tank right there. So now we need to be able to take that from that high pressure tank to be able to breathe it. So for that, we have the regulator. So what we have here is actually, this is the first stage. So this would be the first stage of taking that high pressure air and reducing it down into a pressure that we can actually breathe. So this piece right here unscrews like that, and this will set down over the top of the tank, and then you screw that back into place. It's always very important to keep all of this equipment really clean and taken care of. We clean it on a daily basis, so we'll get that right back there into its proper spots. And then it comes through these high pressure hoses. This is called your second stage. So it's the regulator. This is the piece that's actually going to go into your mouth to be able to breathe through. So this high pressure hose reduces that pressure into a pressure that we can actually breathe. And then we have a backup. This is called the octopus. It's kind of just a fun name, but it's really just sort of a second high pressure hose down into a regulator there, so that we have, in case something was to happen, this regulator was to break, then we have a second regulator with us. And the entire time, you will want to be able to check your air pressure with your air pressure gauge. That way you know exactly how much air pressure you still have in your tank. So you know approximately how much time you have left being able to breathe under the water, just like the fish. So from there, we move to another source of air. So in case something happens with our tank and we run out of air in our tank, or we have some other sort of problem, we also carry with us this. It's called spare air, which is exactly like what it sounds. It is spare air. It's extra air. So just in case we need it, we actually have this. We can take this off of our belt, we can put this into our mouth, and it gives us enough air to make sure and calmly and safely be able to get to the surface of the water to be able to get out of the tank. Now, another thing. Fish seem to be so beautiful at being able to control their buoyancy. They can dive down deep, they can swim up to the surface. Well, we want to be able to do the same thing, but we are not necessarily as graceful or built for that water environment. So we need some extra bits of help. So we have weights. And everybody needs a little bit of a different amount of weight depending on maybe how much body fat we have and how buoyant that might make us. So we need to have some weight to be able to get us to be able to descend down into the water. And we can wear those in a weight belt that actually just comes around our waist. Or we also have these really cool packs right here on this device, which I'm going to tell you about in a moment, where we can put weights inside of here as well. Now, these also have quick releases, so in the event that we actually do need to get rid of that weight, we are always able to take that weight off of our body so that we can also ascend to the surface if we need to as well. So we also do need to have a little bit of additional control with that buoyancy sometimes. So this is a really super cool jacket that we wear that has an air bladder in the back, and it also is connected to the air tank so that we can go ahead and add a little bit of air in here if we need to help us control that buoyancy. And the goal is to be neutrally buoyant. That way we can just hold super still in one place and we're just floating right there in that one spot in the water. So that's the ideal. That's called neutral buoyancy, and that's what we're really looking for. However, when we're diving here in the aquarium, a lot of times we actually want to stay extra weighted because we want to be all the way down on the bottom. We need to be vacuuming the gravel. We need to be scrubbing, and when we're scrubbing, we push ourselves away from that rock work, so we're kind of wanting to pull ourselves towards it to be able to scrub the rock work or to wipe the acrylic on the inside, or when we're vacuuming and we need to really get down there into the bottom, we want to be weighted enough where we're really down there on the bottom. It's kind of like walking on the moon. We really want to be weighted enough so that we're going to be able to actually stay down there on the bottom of the tank to really do all of that work that we need to be doing down there as well. So having said that, that is really a lot of the main pieces of equipment that we use on a daily basis to help us get into that fish environment and be able to take care of them properly every single day. And again, I will tell you that it is really, really fun. It's something that I really love, and I'm sure all of us here would recommend scuba diving or snorkeling for everybody, really remembering that the whole idea, our whole mission here at the aquarium is creating those connections between our animals and our guests. And the more you are able to get out there into nature, enjoy the environment, visit your rivers and streams and the oceans, and I highly recommend getting right out there into it and experiencing some snorkeling and scuba diving yourself. All right, everybody. Well, this was really a lot of fun for me. I hope you had fun too, learning a little bit more about the scuba equipment that we use here every day at the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. But now I have a real exciting treat for you. We are actually going to kick it over to our Shark Canyon habitat, where in the water right now we have our general curator, Aaron Sproul, also happens to be a dive master, and he is actually going to be in the water talking directly to you with a little bit more information for you about the fish and about the habitats and about the equipment that we have here as well. So with that, all right, let's head on over there and chat with Aaron.